Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the C Kappa Invitational. I'm Zayori from moonducktv, and we've got an awesome best of three coming up for you here. It is the winner bracket semifinals. That's right, we've got Team TNC versus Sig.Trust, a highly anticipated match, which should be quite fun. It's a little chilly here on the eastern coast this morning, so we're wrapped up in a blankie and ready to talk about some Dota 2. Let's see what we've got going on here. Maybe we should just look at the bracket for good fashion. There you go. Enjoy it, VOD viewers. I love you. All right, Sig.Trust, TNC. Who are the favorites coming into this, actually? You know, I probably should have checked the odds.
10 seconds remaining.
Well. Okay. Guess Dota 2 Lounge doesn't work anymore. All right.
Radiant team pick.
All right, so here we go. Looking at these initial picks, Sig.Trust, they get things started with a first pick Earth Spirit. All right, bold. I like it. We saw Earth Spirit in our last matchup, that best of one. Of course, it did not end so well for one Earth Spirit. But still a damn good hero. A lot that he can do, a lot of early pressure he can put out. And we've seen, like, in those mid-game fights, how ridiculous Magnetize is.
Remaining.
Like, it's just an absurd ultimate. And it does huge damage. It doesn't scale that well. I mean, he kind of falls off. Not kind of. He does fall off. 30 minutes plus. Old Earth Spirit is not really that scary. They will pair it with the Doom, though. So Sig.Trust, an interesting opener here. I feel like I have not cast Sig.Trust all that much in this particular bracket. Of course, we've been splitting the coverage between myself and Mr. Mott. And I'm not sure what they've been playing. Now, we've seen so much Doom in that position 4. Even in recent tournaments, that greedy, roaming Doom is good. But is Sig.Trust going to play it that way? We can't forget that hero has a lot of versatility, and you can still put him in the off lane. You could even make him your safe lane farmer, and occasionally you'll see him go mid. I think almost assuredly not against OD. Old Dirty there is just hell in a handbasket to deal with for melee heroes. Nigh impossible, I would say. Venge OD, pretty straightforward opener here for TNC. We haven't talked about it too much, but Venge will open up a couple of Roche possibilities for the Dire side. They've already got the advantage there, so some minus armor plus a medallion means, hey, they can just walk in there pretty much any time after a pickoff and take down the big boy. Sig.Trust banning around pushing heroes here. They opened up with bans on Nature's Prophet and the Drow Ranger. Interesting to see Drow banned out that early on in a draft like this. You know, that's not really a hero that I think of as first ban material. You know, stuff like Drow Visage is still pretty scary, and she can work really well in those mid-game fighting lineups that we've been seeing kind of repeatedly throughout this tournament. Perhaps a respect ban against TNC. The world may never know.
Team ban.
Way back.
All right. Well, still a lot of options. Both these drafts are super, super open-ended. And
5 seconds remaining.
really nothing too telling about Earth Spirit Doom or Venge OD. Both of these drafts could transition into like a greedy turtle lineup, into an early pushing lineup. I mean, even a hero like OD, man, that early 5-man, it's made possible with the Essence Aura. It's not a bad thing to have. When you're talking about supports like Dazzle and Witch Doctor and Vengeful Spirit that have relatively low cooldown spells that you can spam out. Oops. Sorry about that, y'all. Just getting that VOD uploaded from the last game.
Sven stands ready.
Ooh, okay. Big Papa Sven, the Muscle Man, Big Daddy. Wisp Viper, the band's here from TNC. So I see chat, everybody's talking about Jakiro seems to be the kryptonite to Sig.Trust. I don't know if TNC will bust out the Jakiro. I think we saw one of those games the other day where we've seen a couple of weird weird Jakiro picks. And I say weird because I don't really know how well that hero fits into the meta just in general. You know, of course, pushing is not bad to have. He can do a lot of damage. I'm not saying you can't win if you pick Jakiro. Kind of an odd hero just to throw into the mix willy-nilly. Well, Sig.Trust, it's time to get decisive. Are we going to see a Lakel's Morphling? Because that's always what I think when I see Lakel's. Like that is my mental, just I see Sig.Trust and I go, okay, and Lakel's we trust. That is basically the name of this team. It's such an odd team to cast. I have seen many a game that seems completely beyond hope, and then Lakel's is able to kind of make space for himself and then just farm like crazy until he gets so big that the other team just can't handle it. I mean, I've literally seen that happen more than once within the last year. So they're just one of those teams that you can. They're one of the most scrappy teams, I think, in the region. They don't always have clean victories. Usually they got to work for them. You know, it takes a little bit of extra oomph. But they're a team that you can never really count out. Even if you're 15K net worth ahead at the 30-minute mark, game's not over till it's over. And you can always count on Sig.Trust to fight till the bitter end.
Reserve time.
Templar Assassin.
All right, so a few more picks coming out here. Bounty Hunter by TNC. Interesting that Sig.Trust picked the TA right into the bounty. Track is pretty good against Templar Assassin. It kind of counters meld, not the damage, but the kind of elusive dynamic of it.
10 seconds.
TA is an okay hero to deal with OD, though, in the mid lane. The first couple
5
levels, OD
seconds
will have
remaining.
a little bit of an advantage. He can harass, but once she gets a little bit of range going, once they level up a bit,
Reserve time.
TA should be able to at least get some farm in that matchup. Refraction makes it a lot easier. OD, not one of the
Radiant
better
team back.
heroes at cutting through refraction. So it is a good pick in that sense.
Dire team
And Sig.Trust just needs some kind of carry power here. Against Sven OD Bounty Hunter, you know that there is going to be some late game potential on this Dire team. There's no doubt about that one. And I like the way that TNC have set this up. They've kind of made this well-rounded draft where they have a lot of really good mid-game fighters, i.e. Bounty, Venge, but they've also still got some crowd controls. That's one of the issues when you pick a bounty hunter. He's really good in those small
10
skirmishes, like in the
seconds
laning
remaining.
phase when everyone's very spread out, when he can sort of show up and then all of a sudden you've got a
5
numbers
seconds
advantage.
remaining.
That's where bounty really shines. Where he doesn't shine is against hard pushing lineups. He can't
Reserve
clear creeps. He
time.
doesn't really shine against teams that want to go for a fast mech and 5-man early on. Teams that revolve around a Viper, for example. You see that ban starting to make a little more sense now. So it seems like a pretty good game for a bounty. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. I think they've done a good job of drafting around it. And now with the Phoenix, they've got a beautiful
Radiant
mix of
team
team
pick.
fight, harass, and mid-game potential here. And of course, they're going to be able to scale very well. Even if Sig.Trust pick a really scary hard carry here. But looking at this lineup, something funky's going on here. It's either going to be a position 3 Doom in the off lane, a position 1 Doom in the safe lane, or it's an off lane Ember Spirit instead of a support Ember Spirit. Those are kind of the options that
10
I'm running my
seconds
brain
remaining.
through right now, but kind of an open-ended draft. We've been seeing that position 4 kind of
5
support
seconds
style Doom,
remaining.
quote-unquote, more so, but seeing him alongside Earth Spirit and Lion,
Reserve time.
I'm thinking that this Doom may be more of a core. And it's a Dusa, final pick for Sig.Trust. All right. So they do take some carry power of their own. And it is the Snake Lady here for Lakel's. All right. TA picked up by MyPro, so that'll be headed to the mid lane. Very interesting lineups. For some reason, I like the TNC lineup more. Just looking at it, it feels a little more well-rounded, and it feels like... Whoa, 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 what's going on there? Oh, man, okay. Phew, that was scary.
Prepare for battle.
Seeing my face is always scary. Oh, okay. Wow, whoa. Look at you, Mr. Man. Look at this. Armature of the Belligerent Ram Sword. I don't think I've ever seen that thing before. My God, this is one tricked out Sven. I like it. If you're going to play a hero like Sven, you better have some goddamn cosmetics. That's all I'm saying. All right, Raven. I got some hope here. How many That's So Raven jokes do you think we can squish into this game? Furthermore, how many people watching do you think will even get a That's So Raven reference? Because it was such a shitty, obscure show from the 90s. I don't know. Here we go. Smoke rotation, though, from TNC. They're ready to fight. Who are they going to find? It's Boom Bell. And, oh, Lion, you poor baby. The Lion Tamers are here. And they'll bring him down. He gets credit for that one. It's the OD that gets the bonus gold, no less. That is great for TNC. Brilliant start there. Their mid laner going to have a hop and a skip above the TA. Very nice. An interesting path as well. You don't see those level 1 smokes coming from the mid that often. Like, it's an odd angle to kind of come in up this way. You're not really expecting that. They're pulling out some tricks here. I like it. Bounty Hunter down bottom, looking to snipe a bounty rune, perhaps. They're going to push back the Deuce, and they need to be a little careful here. Deuce is going to get caught. Oh, God, Lekels, what were you thinking, my man? That's going to be another freebie going the way of TNC, underestimating the reach that the Sven has on that big old hammer of his. By golly, 2-0 in the initial moments of this matchup. This is not the start that Sig.Trust were hoping for. Already 500 net worth behind. And both bounty runes went the way of TNC. Pardon me. Mid lane.
Denied.
Jabs coming in, trying to poke back the OD, but Bounty Hunter is nearby. And I think he might spend some time here in the mid. There is already a sentry down, though, in favor of Sig.Trust, so Bounty not going to be able to harass too easily in the mid lane. He did go for that Orb of Venom. A little bit of damage. Does sometimes help with refraction. Every little bit counts. Now we're going to see Vengeful Spirit jumped on by the Earth Spirit. Spirit on Spirit action. There is an Orb of Venom here on Jabs. That means he should be able to run down the Venge, and he will. That's an easy pickup right there. A 5 movement speed advantage before you factor in the Oov slow. Really no way the Venge could get away from that one. Well, at least Sig.Trust here get on the board. Great stuff for Jabs. I like this name. AU. Hey, bitch. Sentry Ward down now for the Dire, so they will start to take control of the mid. You can see MyPro wants to go up to farm, but feeling very cautious here. As soon as the refraction goes down, now AU goes in, but another refraction comes out. They're going to cut right through it, and now TA is going to get pushed back. In comes the Earth Spirit, though. Flying in on the bounty. He will get off the Shadow Walk, and he'll be just fine. Bottom lane here looking pretty good for the Radiant. Phoenix struggling, as you would expect. 0-0 in terms of CS, and now level 2. Doom having a much better time. Able to have a presence in the lane, at least. About partway through level 3. Ooh, AU. AU. He could be in some trouble here. Phoenix on his way in, though. He wants to fight a counter kill onto Jabs. AU going to be able to live for now because the auto attack's slow, but he throws the boulder, finds the kill still, and now Jabs will just walk away. Sam H, sponsored by Azrock. The bird will make it back to the high ground. A noble effort to try and turn it and save the bounty, but in the end, unable to make it happen. And the Ember Spirit will go ahead and suicide to neutrals after picking up his items, boots, and wards to boot. So the point I wanted to make, though, up top, Fei Mao having a great time. Able to actually put pressure on the lane. And look at this. He's able to just fight the Venge. It's a double stun matchup. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, TA about to go down to the OD. Eats the Fairy Fire, but it's not enough. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. What a name, dude. Getting killed by somebody tagged up as Tee-hee. God, that's got to stick. That's got to hurt. Solo kill for the OD. Good stuff here in the mid. Take a look at that gold graph, see what's going on. Sig.Trust has taken the advantage here in the laning phase, partially from these good rotations by the Earth Spirit, but also because of this Doom. That's the difference maker here. The offlaners, the biggest disparity by far. We're going to see Bounty Hunter now hold the off lane while Phoenix goes back for some regen. Jabs gets pinged out in the jungle, thinking about a rotation perhaps onto the OD. Sven and Dusa farming pretty evenly here, though. Dusa with a small advantage, mostly because Sven has had to pay some attention to the Doom, while Lekels has basically just been able to tunnel vision on creeps. Every carry's dream. Sven is always scary, though. Just one of those heroes that you can just never sleep on. He's going to go for the standard build here, 1-3-1, maxing out the Great Cleave, as most great Svens do these days. And we'll just see some stacks in the jungle, big farming. Ancients will definitely be a factor in this game. Just based on the kill score already, it'll be a game where we'll definitely see some farming. There will be some fighting because these supports want to rotate and make some kills happen, but there are a lot of carries that really want to farm, especially early on. And as such, that means stacked Ancients will become a priority. We'll see if the Sven goes for that HOD first build, just so we can get that extra creep and start stacking Ancients ASAP. Both teams have a way to kill it. You got split shot from the Dusa, or, yep, split shot. And the cleave from the Sven. So not only is it about stacking for your team, but both squads will have to be kind of cautious and maybe want to ward up that area so they can see when the opposition has a big stack that they're going for, because that can be a good window of opportunity to not only find kills on a weak hero who's farming Ancients, but also steal the enemy's Ancients. And sometimes that can be more important than hero kills. If it's a 4-stack worth of Ancients, that's an absurd amount of gold that your team can pick up. And you think about it as not just a gain for your team, but also a loss for the other team. So that swing that you get from Ancient management is pretty damn important in matches such as this. Bottom lane, we'll see the Bounty Hunter still just kind of linger nearby as Phoenix comes back to the lane. I think right now AU is pulling out that calculator, doing a little bit of math, trying to figure out if they can find a kill here. Maybe looking for a window before Lakel's dings level 6. That Stone Gaze does make ganks a little bit more difficult to pull off. Similar story for the Earth Spirit. Jabs is just lingering in the mid lane. He's waiting for this OD to step too far forward. But so far, the positioning from Teehee has been damn good. Holding the creep wave at his hill. Oh. Farm, farm, farm we shall. Medusa is starting to pull a good bit ahead of the Sven, though, in terms of CS. 40 to 30 is a 30% advantage. If this rate of farm keeps up, Lakel's is definitely going to trickle his way up towards the top of that net worth chart. No doubt about that one. And the nice thing for TNC is, even though Phoenix isn't getting much farm, he doesn't really need it. One of these offlaners that can get by just by getting experience. Kind of like the Nyx Assassin. Just wants to find level 6, start moving around, utilize the Supernova, and then we'll see old Samuel H. probably pick up a Midas, just so that he can keep tempo. And once the Midas comes out, it's all about that race to level 16, so the egg is scary. I think that the goal for most Phoenix players is hit 16 as quickly as possible. If you can kind of snowball in terms of experience, the egg gets very hard to deal with in the mid-game. Closing in on level 6, we'll see Boom Bell rotate around, and oh man, that's a dead Phoenix. Mystic Snake after the Lion crowd controls, and not really much the Phoenix could do there. Full to 0 in the duration of that stun. Nice setup. Bounty Hunter poking around here, looking for the courier that flew overhead, but not going to find it today. And it will be the Morbid Mask first on Sven. I think likely to be that HOD. We've seen it very commonly. It's a great stat item as well. Just gives you that extra armor and stuff to help you farm more quickly in the jungle. And but you can't underestimate the power of stacking those Ancients and not needing a hero to do it. Just being able to grab a creep from the dire side and throw her over in the Ancient pit. Uh-oh, up top, AU going to be caught by a Doom. He's on the run, but the Infernal Blade will slow him down. And a Satyr Hadouken from the Doombringer will finish him off. Very nice here from Sig.Trust. Not too much the Bounty Hunter could do there.
Dire's top tower is
Sig
under
do have a couple of those fuck-all type abilities. Doomed, well, good luck.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kind of same with Magnetize. Of course, doesn't disable you in the same way, but once it's on, there's not really much you can do besides spread out and just white-knuckle your way through the damage.
Dire's top tower is under
One of the
attack.
ultimate fuck this, I'm out abilities. Magnetize and roll away. I don't really like the way Earth Spirit looks. Something about his face. He looks like that guy from the Fantastic Four, but fatter. You know, it looks like he's wearing one of those sumo suits. Whoop, 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 whoop. He walks like a goddamn animal. OD number 1 on net worth. Brown Boot earn double null tally. All right, going for the stat build here. He's already got 1100 HP. Like, this OD was ready to be harassed in the mid lane, man. He itemized for, they're coming at me, and I am ready to survive through it. You don't see double null tally that often. But Brown Boot drunk, pretty good. Gives you some nice early stats. A little movement speed there to work around with. Really, the big problem, though, for TNC is going to be this offlaner. Perfect time for a gank. They rotate up on the Doom, and they just run at him. Warcry makes it easy to set up. And I was just about to say, they need to start pressuring this Doom, because you look at his farm compared to the Phoenix, 3,500 net worth to 2K. That's a big disparity. And luckily for TNC, they are making it up in their cores. OD and Sven are about even with the Dusa, and the TA is pretty far behind in the mid lane. So, you know, the Sig.Trust offlaner is kind of balancing them out. But now that he's taken some heat, TNC can start to get a little momentum off this.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Venge now starting to stack up Ancients, and Phoenix is level 7. So that means there is some team fight option here opening up for TNC. If Sig.Trust dives a tower, for example, they'll be able to just Phoenix on in and maybe turn things around. Uh-oh.
What have we here?
Earth Spirit, you sticky devil. That's an easy kill for the Phoenix. Wrong place at the wrong time. And the squishy Earth Spirit will fall. Doesn't even need to use the egg for that one. All of a sudden, halfway to that Midas. Meanwhile, Radiant side of the map, AU scouting out some Ancient stacking here. Looks like TA's working on a 1, 2, 3, 4 stack. Double Golem, and some Lizards and some Dragons. So foreskin there, and looks like just a double stack for the Dire side. Tuski. Samuel Harris here. I'm going to go and blow for blow with the Lion. But we'll just back out. Take a look at overall levels. Still a lot of supports, kind of hanging on the edge here, sitting at level 5, waiting for the ultimates. Perhaps we'll see this Radiant squad look for some ganks when they get Magnetize and Finger.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Doom very close to a mech. As we talked about in the last game. Big item. Especially when you want to fight. This game has turned out to be a little more quiet, but the mech will open up some possibilities. Smoke on both sides of the coin. TNC, they're turning things up a notch as well. OD ready to fight a little bit now with his power treads. And look at this. They go right for the Ancient stack. I love this play. Radiant even have it warded. They know exactly what's going on, but Sven kills it so goddamn fast, they can't even contest it. Here we go. Now the fight breaks out. Stun onto jabs. Stone gaze from Lakells. It's TNC on the back foot. Maybe they should just sacrifice their Venge to save the cores. Sven turns. Stun on 2. Are they going to turn to fight? Because they shouldn't. Teehee now gets doomed. Isolated. Swap will buy him a little bit of time. Venge might be able to find the deny. Nope. Not going to happen. And now this guy's going down as well. Could maybe deny to the Ancients, but didn't realize they'd respawned. Oh, that's unfortunate. And they also did end up getting the Sven. So, all things considered, maybe I spoke too soon there. I like what TNC tried. I think on paper, that's a really good idea. Smoke into the Ancients, pick a fight if you can, and just kill the Ancients. What they weren't anticipating was this little guy right there, that little nibbler. I don't think they were prepared for the uphill vision to be coming their way. And of course, it does backfire, and in the end, that is a gain for Sig.Trust. But here we go. Team fight now in the mid lane. Supernova comes out on 2. Jabs low on mana. They've got tracks up on both. There's plenty of movement speed to chase him down. Swap, stun. Earth Spirit's down. Dusa out of mana, though. They might want to keep it going. TNC will be happy with 1, and now they start to retreat. Though OD's TP'd in, we could see this fight continue. 7 heroes in the mid lane. And nope, things will kind of peter down.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
All right, well, a counter kill's a counter kill.
Dire's structures
All the while,
are
though,
fortified.
one TA is pushing in the top lane. MyPro getting some space for a bit of recovery for him here.
Radiant's bottom tower
Still
is under
pretty
attack.
broke overall. About 1,000 net worth behind the OD, and I think pooling for a Blink Dagger. Power treads, 1,400 gold. Slow and steady for MyPro, but will definitely need that positioning tool. And Raven going to get, looks like a double stack of Ancients there for himself. Double damage rune, no less. Just HOD, S and Y coming out for the Sven. Nothing crazy about this build. Very standard. Farming very quickly as well. Staying a nice little bump ahead of the Dusa. That is one of the great things about the Sven. I mean, Dusa can kind of stand up, match up with him in the late game when they're both at critical mass in different regards, but can still contribute a lot to the team fights. The difference is that Sven can just farm so much more, so much earlier. You know, it's like he starts the game with a Battle Fury. So a couple of
Radiant's
stacks, and he
top
can just
tower
turbo
is
farm,
under
and
attack.
Medusa can't quite do that. I mean, she can kill Ancients, but not even as
Dire's
quickly
bottom
as Sven.
tower
You know, he
is
pops
under
his ult,
attack.
and he can go boop, 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 and kill those Ancients. You can't do that play that TNC went for to intercept the Radiant Ancients without a Sven and hope that it has a chance to work. We'll see the Phoenix get picked off down bottom. No big deal there. Lane ward here for the Radiant. Nice and easy. But any other hero at this stage of the game, you can't even try that. You just can't kill him fast enough. You know the enemies are going to be able to intercept. But Sven, when he pops his ult, he can kill him in like 10 auto attacks, and the entire stack of Ancients are dead. That's a pretty unique feature for a hero that can scale as well as someone like Sven. And I don't think any other hard carry quite has that same ability to just straight flash farm a giant stack of Ancients. So again, I like what TNC tried on paper, even though it backfired. And I like that they're at least thinking about enemy Ancients. How can we deal with this and find an edge for ourselves? I think that's definitely the right approach to take in this matchup here. They'll have a 2K net worth lead, about 1,500 experience is their favor at the 15-minute mark. They're behind by a hero kill, but they are working this map like it ain't no thing. Hand of Midas recipe out on the Phoenix. Just looking for the gloves. Any other item progression of note? Blink Dagger on TA. She blows. And, of course, the mechanism on the Doom.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Farm, farm, farm we shall. Somebody kill somebody. Lion level 7, so he does have Finger of Death now. The Proctologist is in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Looks like we could see a little
Dire's
skirmish
bottom
breakout
tower
here
is
about the
under
mid
attack.
lane. We'll take a look at Vision. Radiant have 2 wards here in the general area. And Dire have one down on their high ground, but reasonably blind around the Roche pit. Sig.Trust really want to gank something here. I think they just want to use the Lion Finger. Get that on cool. If they've got a Finger and a Doom, they are ready to fight. Although TNC, they know what's going on. They're starting to rotate over. An odd team fight might be brewing as Sig.Trust try to kill the Ancient stack. But it's a pretty small, it's just a tri-stack. 2 sets of lizards there. Uh-oh, Doom uses the ulti onto Sven. He's going to try to back out here. They're going to grab the OD. He gets fingered, but does manage to get himself into the Astral. As soon as he pops out, are they going to be able to turn this? No. TNC watched their buddy die, but Supernova, do your thing, big baby. The egg gets popped. And this is a disastrous fight for TNC. Sven, maybe he can turn this around, but no, he's just not big enough yet. He goes charging in like the big man that he is. The swap out will keep him alive, but they'll lose the Bounty Hunter. They'll lose the Venge as well. Maybe she'll get the kill on Jabs first, and she will. It won't be a clean sweep, but it's going to be damn close. A 1 for 4 as Raven gets out. My God, how did that Hex not interrupt the TP?
Under attack.
Whew. 2,200 net worth swing here. And that favor going the way of Sig.Trust. And to top it all off, the cherry on top, they'll get a Soussaint of Ancients as well. This triple stack for the TA.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Man, oh man. A game that started to feel like TNC was pulling ahead. We're right back to where we started. It's a break even, baby.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
Well, Dire deny their middle tower here. Sven kills the Singleton Ancients. That's a little disappointing there. Man, that was a really brutal team fight. I'm trying to think if there's any way that TNC could have actually made that fight work. You know, I should have pulled up the replay for that. My bad. So until Raven gets a Blink Dagger, which he's just about to, it's pretty damn hard for him to initiate in those fights. He kind of walked up, and Doom had the good position. It looked like for a second that Doom might be the one that gets initiated on to start off the fight in favor of TNC, but kind of the opposite. That really aggressive play that he made worked out. Doom up again, though, and another smoke from Sig.Trust, though this go-around Sven will have a Blink Dagger. Old Blinky Winky here. Uh-oh, smoke gets broken by AU. And they're going to send him right to the grave. That's going to be his punishment for breaking the smoke. And my pro will get another one up on the scoreboard. Man, this TA has completely recovered Now actually ahead of the OD by just a couple hundred gold. Blink Dagger up and probably just moving into a straight Desolator. First Mithril Hammer and another 800 gold in the bank, man. It's Blink Daggers all around. Now OD grabs his, positioning tools for the main cores on both sides of the coin. Interesting play here from TNC. They see that Sig.Trust are committed to the top tier 1 tower. Very far away from the Roche Pit, of course. They're going to move right on in. No Medallion on the Venge, but they do have a maxed out Wave of Terror. They put down the Sentry, and they see that Sig.Trust are on their way to contest, and they will just back out. Cute little attempt. A noble effort, but bold to think that Sig.Trust would not be suspicious of that one. Sig.Trust all grouped up in the bottom lane, and man, the Blink Daggers continue. Card-carrying members, now 4 of them in this game, 2 apiece. TA and Doom for Sig.Trust, and OD Sven for TNC. Smoke now from TNC. They go right in onto Lakells. There's the Supernova. Mech right away, and Teehee gets doomed and brought down. That's the end of the OD. Couldn't even ult. They might still get Lakells. He gets swapped back into the Supernova, and he falls. 2 big cores down. Now everybody getting low. Who's going to be able to clean up? They split through the Magnetize, and it looks like the Dire coming out big. My God, they heal through the damage. The Sunray tops everyone off, and Sig.Trust are only able to kill the Doom target in the duration of the fight. And just like that, we get a huge swing back the other way. 3,500 net worth. Right back the way of TNC, and they'll get this tier 1 tower as a reward. Wow. Great fight for them over there. Let's take a look at that replay. TA. Scouted out by AU. Blinks up. Track has already been deployed, though, and MyPro, this is going to be a tough one to get away from. Teehee's back. Breaks the Blink Dagger, and MyPro going to fall. It's a full team wipe. And OD, even though he died at the beginning of the fight, he comes back, gets a dominating streak. That is great stuff for him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
All right. Roche is up. Now let's check out this replay here. We might not be able to look at the replay. We're going to see a team fight breakout. Here we go. Teehee, the one initiated on again, but swap from Venge keeps him alive. Astral, he's not going to get it. Phoenix doesn't have the Supernova, and it's looking like a bad fight for TNC. Oh no, this topsy-turvy game can continue. Vengeful Spirit almost TP's home, but it won't happen. They minimize their losses here. Great Delta split from TNC. They managed to only lose 2, but now Roche at half health will be ripe for the taking of Sig.Trust. Now, they don't have their TA with them, and that's their big minus armor hero that actually makes this a timely endeavor. TNC could still have a window to try and contest here, but they're going to have to TP in and go straight for the pit. OD could potentially buy back, and dare I say it could be worth it. Roche falling ever so slowly, but it looks like Sig will be able to finish it off. TNC just not hustling up to get there, and it will go down. Medusa picks up the Aegis. All right, TNC still holding on to that net worth lead via the graph. Sven still farming very well and kind of not keeping them in the game, but keeping them ahead. Losing that Roche is quite painful, though. So now that everyone's going back to farming, let's take a look at this replay here and see what's going down. So that whole sequence started off with this engagement in the bottom lane here. And you see the smoke coming in from TNC. They go right onto Lakells. Beautiful placement on the Supernova, by the way. Teehee just not ready for the damage. Gets destroyed. But they burn everything to kill the OD. Now the rest of the fight continues. It's like, what do you have left? A bunch of squishy heroes that are locked in the trees. And TNC just completely clean house. It feels weird to look at that team fight now, knowing that just moments after, they throw away the advantage to Sig again. And yeah, that gold graph moves right on up. Boy, oh boy. We're seeing some crazy Dota games today. Big item progression, though, for Sig.Trust. Outside of just the Blink Daggers, Lion, by the way, has joined the club. Welcome, buddy. That's now 5 Blink Daggers across 10 heroes. 5 hero smoke from Sig in the mid. They've also got the Desolator and a Veil of Discord. Who are they going to catch? Oh, the smoke gets broken by the bounty. He sees the Lion. 4 others still smoked up. They might still be able to find an opening here, but no. Bounty breaks it from the high ground. Great positioning from AU. His name could not be any more appropriate in that scenario. AU, you smoky bastards. Here we go. Teehee initiated on. Doomed again. Fingered. The Proctile just bringing him down. They're going to be able to get the kill on the OD. Now the rest of the fight. Big silence. Oh my god, Magnetized just cutting through this dire side. The egg barely comes out. Supernova probably won't go off. They've got the auto attacks. And just like that, Sig.Trust finding their way into 4 kills in exchange for none. Nearly 3,500 net worth going their favor once more. Sven was just not in a position to try and help fight there. His TP was on cooldown, and his BKB was in transit via the courier. Absolutely no way that he could have joined that fight and done anything. Even if he'd had the TP, can't fight there without the BKB. Now that Sig.Trust have broken through the team, they've taken a lead, and they're going right to the high ground. They took out the tier 2. Tier 3 is now theirs for the taking. Short respawn timers for TNC. They'll be coming up pretty soon. I'm curious how much Sig.Trust will commit to this. They do still have the Aegis, but here we go. BKB Sven goes jumping in. Gets a few auto attacks off on the Doom. Has already used his stun, and well, that's about it. Fairly underwhelming 10-second BKB. Might be able to grab Lakel's here, but remember, he has the Aegis. So even going down here wouldn't be that bad. It would refresh his mana pool. Now they turn on to Sven. No more BKB. Teehee again locked in place and just destroyed. Gets his ult off before he dies, but it does very little. Just drains the mana from Doom, who doesn't have an ultimate anyway. Lakel's still alive, and timing on the Aegis, about 2 minutes. So they've got plenty of time here. They don't need to feed away his life to get that regen going quite yet. Tier 3 towers fallen. They go on to the melee barracks. TA's got the Desolator, so these structures fall really quick at this stage in the game. Melee barracks down, stun from Sven disjointed, and Sig.Trust will sound the retreat. The Twilight Bark. Make it out here, boys. Let's see what you can do. Raven in hot pursuit, though. He wants it. They might be able to find the Doom. Cute spot there in the tree line. They don't scout him out in time. He TP's home, and that's it. Sig.Trust get away with it scot-free. And all of a sudden, this gold graph jumps way in their favor. Not only the biggest lead we've seen this game, but the biggest lead they've had by far. Now a lane of barracks advantage. And we should see some reflections in that inventory. Medusa probably going for Scotty. 4K gold, just about there. Actually has the gold for it, I believe. Now a Vlad's offering on the Doom. Oh, mama. This is good stuff for this Radiant side for Sig.Trust fans around the world. Even the BKB now coming out on the TA, just about 1,000 gold off. For TNC, I think the name of the game is keep this bloody OD alive. Old Dirty here is having so much trouble this game. Sig.Trust have rightfully identified the big damage-dealing target that is so easy to lock down. You know Sven's going to be doing a lot of damage, but you also know he has a BKB, he's damn fast, and he has an AoE stun. Not an easy hero to lock down. I don't think you can go into a fight with your game plan being, all right, guys, let's just blow up the Sven. Maybe if you catch him with a Doom before he does anything and drop everything else, you can get him. But OD is a much easier target. He's way squishier, 2.2k HP compared to 1.5, way less mobile, less armor, and all he can do is Astral himself. Now that he's put so much gold into the Blink Dagger, if you can catch the OD, if he's the one that gets initiated on, his Blink Dagger gets broken, that is a huge sunk cost that does absolutely nothing for you in that scenario. Blink Dagger is an incredible value pickup when you're the initiator, when you're the aggressor that blinks in out of fog, sets up with a hex and just blows them up with right clicks, then OD Blink is incredible. But if you're on the defensive, if you're constantly getting initiated on, the Blink Dagger just doesn't do that much for you. The one thing it does do is allow you to sit back in fights and then try to initiate, but Sig.Trust have done such a good job keeping him on the back foot. But here we go. TNC going the aggressive this time. Good placement on the Supernova, but I think they can just right-click it down, and they will. Scotty's come out on the Dusa, so they've already killed the Phoenix. Now they get the Bounty Hunter. OD will find the kill on Doom and Lion. This time he gets off a good ultimate, and it's a way closer fight. You can see the difference when Sig.Trust aren't able to control the Outworld Devourer. Now Lakel's out of mana, doesn't have the Aegis any longer. They'll dust it up, and they're going to get the kill on the Dusa. TNC now regaining some of that lost footing. Tee-hee-hee-hee. Triple kill on him. My oh me. It's all about initiation this game, and an even bigger net worth swing, 4,500. Well, remember that lead that Sig.Trust had that we were talking about and hyping up so much? Yeah, well, that's gone. Oh, God. Shiva's Guard about to come up for the Phoenix as well. Man, what is this game? I feel like this is hard to hyper-analyze. It's one team gets team-wiped, and then 2 minutes later, the other team gets completely team-wiped. It's just this topsy-turvy back and forth. It's kind of hard to process, honestly. Big place in the bounty to break those smokes, though. Let's take a look at the replay. Speaking of smokes, it was TNC that started off. Just look at this. They find the Doom, gets scouted out. Raven goes flying in. Classic Raven. But the problem is he gets petrified. It was a great ult from Lakel's, and the petrification goes right through the BKB.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
In the end, it just wasn't enough, though, for Sig.Trust. It was such a brilliant start for the fight, given that they were initiated on like that. And there was a moment where it seemed like, you know, maybe they can do this, even though they were initiated on. But in the end, they just didn't have the resources. And now, OD, he's going to find himself a BKB. Pretty big pickup there. Now, even if he gets initiated on, unless they can kill him in the entire duration of a Doom or stun, the BKB should be enough to keep him safe. But that is something to keep in mind. Doom is a pretty effective counter against BKB. If they want to continue to just train the OD, focus on him, Blink Doom is one of the best tools for it. Is this Medusa going to be able to eventually catch up to the Sven? You know, there's one recurring theme this game, and that's been Sven has consistently outfarmed Lakel's. We've talked about this build. It's kind of become the new standard on Medusa, but I do really like it. Very well-rounded. Had the Scotty at a pretty decent timing, but Sven's like almost 50% net worth ahead of her. I mean, he didn't get that BKB that long ago, and already another 3,200 gold. 2-1 and 11. Raven's done a really good job of deciding when to fight and when to farm in this game. Still picked up a lot of assists, been involved in the majority of the team kills, and he right-clicks the AC. All right. Well, those of you that have been watching most of the coverage for this tournament know how I feel about AC on Sven. It's a great item in the here and now. For the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, it's going to give TNC a huge bump. Going to help their team fight presence, will allow them to siege towers more easily. It's a great item to have and synergizes so well with Sven. The problem is slots. And for the very reason we just talked about, he's farming like a madman. And he is definitely going to hit 6-slot critical mass before the Medusa. There's almost no doubt about that. And the AC becomes a big bottleneck. It's an aura-based item that you can give to someone else. And of course, Sven still benefits from that extra armor and the attack speed of actually being the carrier. But there does come a point where his inventory is going to look like, okay, now he's got BOTs. Okay, now he throws away the HOD. What do you get rid of next? And that decisive moment to dump the SNY for something a little bit bigger and better is when you have to start wondering, well, when do I dump the AC for something bigger and better, like a Daedalus or an MKB? But this is the time for TNC to strike, and they will do so. They find the TA right away. There's the BKB from MyPro. Sam H comes in. He gets hexed. He can't get off the Supernova. What a brilliant play from Boombell. Teehee stays alive off to the side with his BKB on. Drops the hammer, but it does almost nothing. 2 down on the side of TNC and 2 cores at that. Sven's swinging that sword against the Doom, but is it going to be enough to actually take the fight? They get 1 kill there. Venge off to the side, and now we're going to see the split from TNC. Bounty Hunter nearby, but they don't have any detection. They're going to try to sandwich the Venge instead. And the Scotty from Lakel's means there's just no way that Winter G, Small Sun, is walking away from that. 1 for 3. Sig.Trust coming out big once more. And now they just move right into the Roche pit. Oh, Bounty, you silly devil. Walks right into range of the Sentry, and that's another easy kill. And that's a guaranteed Roche now for this Radiant side. Roche number 2 for them. Pulling further and further ahead in this game. Of course, still no cheese. But another Aegis indeed. You know, it almost seems like it doesn't matter that Sven is more farmed. It just doesn't seem to make a difference. I do want to glance at that replay, though. Because it felt like a good time to strike from my perspective. Let's see here. So smoke from TNC. They go around the backside. They catch the TA straight away. Seemed like a good initiation, but Refraction takes no damage. BKB's off. The real play is from the Lion. Completely mitigates the Phoenix with the Hex. And then after that, it all just falls apart. Even if the supernova went off, it would have been definitely would have been a more even fight. It wouldn't have been completely one-sided. And the courier died during that as well. I did miss that. Blink dagger on the courier. Whose courier was it? It was Radiance. Oh, not a blink. It's Crystallis. Okay. So that's TA's crit. Not a big deal. It'll be up in a minute. Sort of unfortunate in the context of that fight that she didn't have the crit for extra damage. But yeah, there you go. So Sven now has BOTs. And this is exactly that window where you start wondering, so what's next? You could say, well, let's upgrade to Satanic. That way you don't have to throw away the HOD. And even though that the Helm of the Dominator is his lowest tier item in terms of cost, you kind of need it. That 15% lifesteal is not disregardable, you know? And just upgrading into Satanic now, yeah, that gives him the ability to reset. But right now, Sven's problem isn't surviving with lifesteal. His problem is doing damage. He needs to kill shit faster. He needs to cut through him. Here we go, though. Hold that thought as smoke from Sig.Trust finds Sam H. And old Samuel Harris going to be brought down again. Duso will get credit for that one. Sven now doomed after a swap from the Venge. No, that wasn't a swap from the Venge. He just got doomed. Raven's going to die. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Things falling apart quickly here for TNC with those 2 kills. That's another, like, 1,500 2K net worth gain here for Sig.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This Sven's farm just doesn't seem to matter. They can't take the fights. Sig have the better initiation now with the blink daggers. And it seems like this Scotty Dusa is just hard to deal with. They don't have an answer for it. Lakells just walks up to the high ground. Aegis in tow. 10-second BKB ready to rock. Daedalus now for the TA. My God. My pro has completely recovered. He's now 50% up on the OD. That's a tier 3 tower down. Glyph's already been used by the Dire. Sven's dead for 30 seconds with no buyback. I mean, is this a GG push right here? Did Sig.Trust actually just win this game off a series of pickoffs here in the mid game? It looks like it. That's another melee barracks down. And range was cleared out of the mid. They're 2 lanes up. And that's it. They're just going to walk out. That was a free lane of barracks. TNC not even able to contest it without their Rogue Knight alive. And the great thing about that for Sig is they weren't really delayed. They've still got 2 minutes on the Aegis. They should very easily be able to finish off this outer tier 2 tower without a glyph. Then maybe even poke at high ground. The timing will get a little bit tight if they want to make sure they min-max on the Aegis. But oh god, we missed this one. Aghanim's Scepter now up on the Earth Spirit. So now he's got way more mobility. He can use the pull on allied heroes. He can turn people into stones. One of the better Ags upgrades. It really raises the skill cap of the hero, and you'll see some Earth Spirit players avoid it for that very reason. Can be a bad double-edged sword, let's say. But Jabs is ready. He's ready for the challenge. We'll see if we can observe some clutch defensive stone pulls. Keep his buddies alive. 1 minute on the Aegis. Sig.Trust now gearing up for what could be their final push. Seems crazy to say. What I'm baffled at is just how seemingly easy it was for Sig.Trust, right? You're looking at the graphs, looking at the farm, it's like, all right, TNC farming well, consistently farming ahead. How are Sig.Trust going to do it? And they find the way to start these fights. They choose a target and they destroy him. They blow up OD for half the game. Now they're focusing the Sven. And one of these big farm cores is just always taken out of the game. Double damage TA finds a solo kill on the OD in the mid. Sorry about that one, folks, but that is just a nutso pickoff. I mean, double damage, it makes sense she was able to do it. That spells bad news for TNC. OD has to buy back before this fight even really starts. And TA still has double damage on. About a quarter of the duration left, and just because of that double damage, she's able to blink in and chunk that tower down to about half health as they back out to retreat. TNC, they're moving far out of the base. They just need to defend right now. They don't have much creep equilibrium in the mid. Top is pushing out, but they need to be a little bit careful here. They lose a fight here, and I think this game's over. Dust used by Lion. They wanted to catch the bounty hunter, but now Raven jumps out of the base. He gets doomed before he can BKB. Now swap from the Venge. That will keep him alive for now. Supernova to try to make some space. It's not going off. Samuel Harris gets killed again, and AU going to the grave. Or living on 40 HP. All right, very nice there. Sven does live, reinitiates, now pops the BKB. Goes in hard onto the Earth Spirit, but it's just an Earth Spirit. Now he's going to man-fight the TA, and he loses the battle. The pretty lady cuts him down. Teehee will get caught as well, and that's it. They've had enough as the GG is called. Sig.Trust take game number 1 in convincing fashion. Just like our best of 1 earlier today, it was a rocky opening for this game. Very topsy-turvy, back and forth, team wipe each way. And then all of a sudden, Sig.Trust just erupted with this flurry of momentum, and they never gave it up. Beautiful focus firing, great use of the blink daggers. They controlled the cores of TNC so damn well that OD, even though he had a great start, he couldn't do anything in the mid game. Very impressive stuff from this Radiant side, and we'll see. That was just game number 1. This is upper bracket, folks. We're in the winner bracket semifinals. No elimination here between these two teams. The winner moves on to the winner bracket finals to face Fnatic, and the loser will be going down to the lower bracket to fight another day. That's game 1. We've got game 2 right around the corner. I'm Zyori from moonducktv. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're coming back after this short break.